There are spoilers ahead for this, so go watch it on its own channel, subscribe, enjoy it first, then come back here. Here is a horrifying little video. Um, it's called My House. We're going to take a tour through it. Apparently this house and the narrator was involved in the tsunami in Japan and the destruction it caused to the house and the utterly horrifying secrets revealed on a walkthrough concerning that damage. This is an incredible piece, and let's get started. Okay, this room doesn't appear to be too bad, but it's not that great either. Again, the room doesn't look too bad, but looks like a fairly normal. So a typhoon is now in Japan. That sets the whole environment up as something a little creepy, a little dangerous, and apparently very wet. This is interesting because now the uploader wants you to see the house, which looks like a lot more damage than what would occur from just waking up from a tsunami, the rain pouring in through the roof. This is the longest hallway in my house. This is going to come up a lot, and keep this in mind. We're going to talk about this later on. But look at the massive amounts of damage there seems to be. This is the altar and the ancestors. Look at these paintings. They are just destroyed, devastated, but they also look to be marked by someone, like scribbling blacked out areas. This just pushes up the creep factor why this is happening. Who in this household would be physically destroying the images beyond nature's assault on them? Here's another phrase that'll be repeated over and over again as we walk through these hallways. I was going to do up a map, but I figure you probably will get the gist of it on our third time around. Yeah, this hallway is just as devastated. This does not look like recent damage. This looks old, very old. So it brings to mind a lot of questions about our narrator and what's going on. Because of course, what creepy, destroyed, damaged house in the middle of a horrible storm with an unreliable narrator would be complete without a doll room? Yes, a doll room. That's a little horror that's coming up soon. Yeah, grandfather closed this room off. That's going to end well. Keep in mind that we've been given a cursory glance at these various rooms on our first pass, which I find intriguing. We don't really get a good look inside. Just a little peek. That's all we're given, just a peek. Now, there is a great deal of debris, dust, um, mold, moldering, water damage. It looks like several tsunamis had come through, not just this one. Um, this is just crazy that someone is living in this. 3 people are living in. Just look at this moldering wall here. The quality of life in this house, if this is real, is non-existent. 3 people could not survive in this home. I can imagine the black mold and whatever, the rats, the rat shit, the everything in this place. This is just a horror. More moldering and manipulated images of a possible family tree, and these are just horrifying looking. I'd hate to come up on them in the dark. And here we are in the middle of the introduction, coming up on them in the dark. So, you know, good day to you. Here we go. The phrase repeated again. Every time we end up in the hallway, these phrases just keep turning up. Same ones over and over again, which is starting to form an interesting pattern. Keep an eye out for it. We are circling around the house. And here we get our first peek into the bathroom, which looks derelict and broken. And again, the theme of this whole film is unhealthy. This does not look like a place you want to go and clean up, or it's not a bathing room. It's a filth room. Here's another little bit of creepy. Grandfather likes to listen to sutras on the radio. Keep in mind that we've been through this place 1-2 times, and we still haven't seen anyone, let alone the narrator. But we have not seen the grandparents at all, which is strange. You'd think that somebody would have said something, spoken up when our narrator walked by, but that has not been the case. So it's still a bit of a mystery where the rest of the family is at the during the tsunami. The walls peel off from the ceiling when it rains. More of this problematic house upkeep here in Japan. This looks like this has been an ongoing problem, but again, it's a mystery, and I hope we'll figure it out by the end. Yet another go around in the longest hallway in the narrator's house. This is starting to sound more game-like than anything. I'm not sure if our narrator has some sort of mental problem or what, but we'll see. Again, typhoon in Japan, repeated phrases as if we're in a game, but this is not a game or cutscenes. This is what seems to be a real situation. So, very odd. Okay, apparently we've stopped at the narrator's room. Now we did get a good look at it earlier, and it seemed like a normal-ish room, if a little untidy, a little stained, a little damaged. Um, Not someplace that I'd want to lay my head, but a room is a room. So I'm interested in getting a peek inside again. Now this is the best overall look we've had of the room itself. It is pretty shabby. The fan on the wall, the books. There's a lot of water damage, a lot of peeling, a lot of just awfulness. And it doesn't look, it looks a little nest-like with all the wires all over the place, but okay, we keep going around and round in this house. The nice thing is that each time we pass a room, they've been identified. The next pass, we've been given a little more of a glimpse. The next pass, a little bit more. That's great and all. But the thing that I'm wondering is, who keeps closing these sliding doors behind our narrator? Because I don't see them doing it. Um, that doesn't mean that they're not reaching back and doing so, but it just seems very odd. The left room is the dress room. Grandmother had a dress room, which would be filled with cloth and mannequins and whatever. It's possible we may find the old woman here, but we'll see. Yeah, this room was closed up by my grandfather, the narrator says again. We still have not seen any family members, and I'm beginning to wonder what the heck is going on. Turning left, we get another hallway. Again. Same statement, same long hallway. Definitely feels like a video game. Closed up room by grandfather. Although we get to see the decay and mold and staining that's been pretty evident throughout the disaster of this house. Again, that closed door that I was talking about, these sliding doors that always seem to be closed. Still that weird casual acceptance of extraordinary debris and damage in this home. It's almost as if this person has been living like this their whole life, the narrator. Just weird. Again, still continuing my thoughts on this being damage that has occurred and debris that's been around. for a very long time in the narrator's life. The actual walkway where the narrator's going is clear, while you can see on the right that there's so much debris in front of these photos and such. I know I'm being redundant by going over this, but we keep being exposed to the same things over and over again, like this sliding door that's been so damaged over time. Just nasty. It gets me every time I see it. Now we're getting a better look inside this bathroom. So much decay, so much rot, and filth just caking everything. Just not a bathroom that you're going to go into, not a bathroom you're going to use, but things seem to be evolving even as we walk over and over again through this house, which is odd. And keep an eye out for later. An even better look at the mold and the rot and the insect damage in the dress room from grandmother, and why has it been left alone for so long? Again, to me, the most awful room of all up to this point, ignoring all the other rot and decay, is a doll room filled with rot and decay, because that's just damn horrible enough. Case in point is this rotting mess. Just awful. And I'm sure that grandmother is not too thrilled with this, wherever the heck she is. There is just so much damage, and there are so many dolls in this room. It's interesting trying to figure out. I guess grandmother has enough space that she can set up actual rooms as a doll room or the dress room or whatever, and has been allowed to rot and decay over time. Insane. Even our own narrator is recognizing that these dolls are rotten. Just magnificent in their horribleness. Finally, we're in Grandfather's bedroom, so we may actually get to meet another character. He's been listening to Sutra the whole time, so this should be interesting. Unsurprising that the rot is also present in Grandfather's room. So, yay for health? Okay, so I guess we get to see Grandmother's shoes. So, I'm assuming we still don't get to meet up with Grandmother and Grandfather. Where the heck are they in this house? Well, okay, now here's our first reveal. Apparently, Grandmother. I don't even know what the hell's going on with Grandmother. She's under sheets, and either they're soaked with blood or they were red to begin with. But that's not a natural pose for someone that's just sleeping. So I think that we have an answer to what's going on in this household. Well, more rot that somebody is. Oh, I don't even know what to say. We have not seen Grandfather yet, but now we have our first experience that there are bodies here and rotting and left. Wow. Yeah, no kidding. So where in the house is he that he's listening to the sutras? Why the hell is Grandmother rotting in his bed? Um, yeah, we got a lot of questions that need answered after this. I mean, it's possible this guy is just living with the rotting bodies of his family, that no foul play, just messed up. Wow, ignoring the aspect that a lot of people consider this to be a real event, and that it's still on YouTube. Um, I do find it extraordinary that as we go around this house, each and every time we're exposed to a bigger part of what we're being shown. So it's being teased out, and then boom, Grandma rotting in the bed. The bathroom looks unhealthy too. Okay, now we know where grandfather went. And this does not look like some guy that's just hoarding his dead relatives in a house. Also, there's a baby doll in the sink, blood. There's changes to this room that occurred while we've been walking in circles around this house. Is this supernatural? Is this someone else in the house that's making these changes? What exactly is going on? And, ow, okay, now we know where Grandpa went. Holy moly. This is a nightmare that doesn't seem to be affecting our narrator at all. They're Norman baiting this whole thing as if it's normal and casual, and oh, there's Grandpa. Um, yeah, so I'm really at a loss as to what's going on here. Like I said, our narrator just continues on as if this is an everyday occurrence. Is this person mentally ill? Are they under supernatural influence? What the hell is going on in this nightmare home? I mean, this place looks like it has to smell bad enough for the neighbors to have reported this incident. Our narrator is back in their room, and there's obvious changes that have occurred to it by someone or something or some supernatural agency. This is changed. It's not like the narrator sees it differently. This is us actually walking with them with a camera. So this room has obviously changed. Something has made it different. Everything in it now is moldering, rotting, covered with this red scarlet-ish film or membrane or I don't know what. It's amazing, this transformation, and it has occurred over a 10-minute time span as we've been walking throughout this house. It's an extraordinary house of horrors that we've been shown as a result of a tsunami, although this has been stretching back years, and is truly a nightmare. Uh, I don't know what else to say about it. Okay, now that we've had a chance to digest that horror house, I just want to say, of course, it's not real. Um, it is the most extraordinary art installation project by PiroPito, and wow, I just adore this piece. And shortly, we're going to be seeing a movie on the making of how PiroPito did this. and gave us such an experience. It's really incredible. This artist is just, the attention to detail is obsessive in the greatest of OCD as possible. I mean, it just really astounds me. And so many people believed that this was real at the time. This is a very old piece. There was a lot of concern at the time over what was going on here, but this was an artist who is obsessed with video games, builds video games, and Silent Hill was one of the biggest influences on him at the time, and you can see it throughout that piece. There's such Silent Hill dripping, moldering dust. We can almost hear the air raid or hurricane sirens in the background. It's an extraordinary piece of work, and I adore it immensely, and wish that there had been a follow-up, but there appears to have not been one. But we do have many pieces of work from PiroPito to enjoy. And let's get on to the making of. Now we're going to dig into the mad brain behind this fake art piece, art installation. I know there was a lot of people that believed that it was real, and at first glance, maybe you might buy into it too. I've watched this dozens of times, and I just can't believe what was put into this. Take a look. I mean, it's a fairly normal-looking place. It's probably a building that's going to be torn down. And then this guy got a hold of it and turned it upside down, and insane. Now, I don't know. I don't know what this cost, and it looked like he did all the work himself. And again, I know from reading online, he was heavily influenced by Silent Hill, and you can see it in here. Here we go. This is the doll room exhibit. I did have to strip the original music off of this because it was a J-poppy kind of really hip, upbeat, happy little thing that I was afraid I'd get a strike for. So I did strip it off and put in not the equivalent, but the best I could find. Check this out. This is where we got that moldering screens. Really clever. And all the ash was produced in-house, apparently. Wow. Sorry, I can get self-absorbed by staring at this work. I would love to have an English narration of the piece as it's being built. Not just this time-lapse demonstration. Up here we go with grandfather and grandmother. Just madness. Oops. Yeah, you don't want to fall into that. Just from doing little small installations of my own, I can tell you that the workload was insane. Working by myself or with an assistant, but this. Man, I want to find out if he has a Patreon so I can contribute to it. I need to see more works like this. And if you go over to the Vimo or do some research, you can see additional projects that are just insane that this PiroPito has been doing. We have a maze video coming up shortly after this that It just defies description. You just gotta look at the amount of work that he put into it. There's grandfather. How insanely clever using the various tissue papers. There's the baby in the sink. The weird centipede bugs. Now I'm going to watch along with you because it's just, what can you say? This is just so mesmerizing. The reduction of this decrepit house into a house of horrors. And I'm not sure what he's spraying with that bottle, if it's just plain water, if it's a starch combination, what it could be. Nice. I believe he's working on the bedroom now, his bedroom. Just crazy. That spray bottle has got to be the biggest pain in the ass to use. I mean, I've done things with spray bottles that it's just drove me crazy with, but not a house that I ended up spraying. And shortly you'll see that apparently it got to PiroPito also. Yeah, now he switches to the spray can. So we're going to head out of this. This is about done, but feel free to rewind. Go to the page and watch it yourself. I just want to remind you, go to PiroPito's page. Watch those extraordinary videos. The Minecrafting, the ants, the Ant Queen, his own horror game. Support this artist. If he brings this game out to the public, the horror game, which I'm hoping he will release it to the public, support him. Buy his stuff. This guy needs to set up a Patreon page because I will fund it myself. He is extraordinary and I enjoy his work. This maze that's coming up, there's a shocker at the end, but enjoy the piece because it is gorgeous. This is an audio dramatization of an email transcript. While making my house, what influences did you have besides Silent Hill?
I inspired PT directly, and I am inspired by many artwork, art, anime, movie, pictures, etc.
Was this house scheduled for demolition?
No, not yet.
What was the approximate cost of this installation?
Do you mean my house costs? I think it was about $500, maybe.
What was the time frame for construction?
Is this my house too? I think it was about 6 months.
Do you have any similar projects planned?
No, I am just making game now.
How long do you think it'll take to complete your horror game?
I don't know. I want to almost finish the game during 2020, but I am just learning now.
Will you release your game to the public?
Yes, I want to public in Steam for free game.
Did you expect to take so long to complete your maze project?
I can't understand this question well, but it took 6 months to finish to draw the maze.
Was it satisfying to burn the maze at completion?
Yes, I don't need the maze after I finish the video.
Do you have any future projects you can discuss besides your horror game?
I think if I finish horror game, I will make game next too, because game includes everything: picture, CG, movies, music.
Thank you for watching. We'll have more up shortly. Hit the Patreon page in the links below. Throw us a few bucks. We'll love you. Also, hit the subscribe and the bell for notification when we'll have more. Thanks for watching. Bye.